Now, I'm doing this video to ask you to pay particular attention to the stochastic and how it operates. Now, you notice how it's just beginning to turn. And at the moment, so is the ES. It's coming back down, hitting the zero level. So apparently we still have room to drop. But there's a particular aspect of this that I really want to draw attention to. And we're just going to have to wait for it to happen. So we're just going to watch. I'm not going to comment until it begins to occur. Okay, now watch this stochastic. See how this is dropping? Okay, now watch this. What we're looking for is this to drop and this to continue to go up. It's looking like it wants to do that. All right, it sort of did what we wanted it to do. What can happen with the way this algorithm is set up is that the market, or the ES, can be moving in the opposite direction of the stochastic. It sort of began to do that. Now, in hindsight, it looks like it's in complete agreement. But in reality, not so much, which is actually good because it's trying to do its best to give you a true picture of what's really happening. All right, see how it's coming down here. Watch to see if it goes up. This is looking like it's ready to turn. Yeah, there was divergence right down there. Look at that. but we're still focused on the stochastic. There's an aspect to it that doesn't always appear, but you got to know what it's telling you when it does. And the market could be going up while the stochastic is going down, or it could be going up or going down when the ES is going up. And we just made it up to the VWAP. It's not on this screen, but I can see it on another. But this video is to demonstrate a specific aspect of the stochastic, which we're just waiting for it to produce. It might be happening right here. Watch. No, too late. What we're looking for on the upside is for the ES to be dropping while the stochastic is continuing to rise, or the opposite. So our target is the high this far, 5206.50. Very strong probability that we'll get there. Because that's just up to the high just prior to the open. And, okay, it's dropping. It's dropping. ES is not. That's sort of what we're looking at. The stochastic continued to drop. The ES really wasn't going any lower. Just look at it right here. All right. We didn't go any lower than that price right there. But you see how the ES continued to drop. Pardon me, the stochastic did, and it took off. That's a little bit. That's a little bit like what we're trying to illustrate here. Dropping. Okay, right now. See how it was continuing to drop just a little bit, and then it turned? I'm still waiting for a real good example. But the whole point of it is that when it's doing it, you got to be prepared for it to do just the opposite. So instead of following it dogmatically, as you watch this happen, you can anticipate that a reversal is going to take place. Okay, watch carefully. This may begin to drop and this will continue to go right up. It might. No, not yet. $6.50 was the morning high pivot just prior to the open. Not good. There's a low volume node right at 475, which is right where we went. And I can't believe that that's going to keep us from pushing up higher. Now we're right into a low volume node right in here. So we might get support. Yeah. Let's just keep watching this stochastic. Yeah, it looks like we're heading back to the POC 97 to 75. Or is that 98? That's 98. Okay, right now. This was, as you can see, continuing to go up, but this wasn't. Now it turned. So the point of the matter is that if you see the stochastic doing the opposite of what's happening in the ES, it's indicative of an imminent reversal. And we saw just a little bit of it right in here. Okay, we just hit the POC. We got a heat zone that drops to 95.75. I'm not going to show you that only because I'm going to focus on the stochastic. Now, in case you're wondering, I'm long. I'm long at 95.75 because that's where the heat zone was. So I got filled there, but I ain't proud. So I'm counter trend trading in the sense that I'm not believing our ashies are necessarily that correct right now, just because of that zone, which, okay, let me show it to you. Okay, because just a second, let's see if the stochastic does what, see how it's continuing to drop. This, no, no, it did. Now it's over. All right, here's the heat zone that I'm referring to. Right there. See how the coloration changed from the light orange to more yellow right down here? That's what I mean by the heat zone. Now, this little dip in the low volume was a bit of a concern, but I thought right there would be a good entry, and it worked. The target, of course, being back here at 650, but we strangely, right there, had a hard time pushing through that low volume node. And I thought, well, that's odd. It should be pushing through that like butter and then maybe having some resistance right there. But it didn't. It was right there. So it's got some strength. Now we'll push back up. And we'll go back to looking at the stochastic. Okay, it might be, no, too late. Okay, watch this carefully. No, it's it's in agreement. Uh, we just established our initial balance, and today the second standard deviation is absolutely going to be hit because we've had such a little movement between the high and the low. Let me show you this. Okay, so here we have it. Look at that. Here's our high and low. So now that we've hit that low, and we finally did drop below the second standard deviation from yesterday. Either way, although I'm pretty confident we're going to hit back up. Um, So you don't want to exit a long trade shy of 52.16 because it's going to go there. So that's a nice 16 pointer. Yeah, that's going to make it today. Average is twice a week, second standard deviation mark. And we have failed to hit it all last week and yesterday. And because it's so attainable, that's why I'm saying it's going to hit it. So the probability works in our favor. It's easy to hit. And since we didn't drop any lower, now we're heading back up. Ashies are coming into an agreement. So not to say we won't have any volatility, but that's your target, 16. I should improve that margin. There. Oh, it's actually closer to 17. All right. There we go. I would suspect we're gonna just push right, and we did. Yeah. Now, let's just take a look at a couple of other reasons why that was such a strong number. This is our retracement. We ran a Fibonacci retracement from that low at 51.86 and the high at 19.25, and the 61.8 was right there at 6.5, which is, of course, where it went earlier. And then up here, this previous open at 52.15 is another major target. And with the standard deviation, second standard deviation mark being up there at almost 17, that, yeah, that's where she's going. But I am running out of time in this video. So we'll come back and reassess what's happening a little later on. But very happy to see what happened this morning. Okay, we're gonna keep pushing up. Let me just see if yeah, we run out of the heat zone here at 7.5 or 7.25. That's right where we want to. So yeah, we might have just a little bit of a struggle here. And then just above 1075 could be a little bit of a struggle. But if we push through that, then we're going to have a little hesitation at 1275. But we push through that, no problem getting up to 15. 15.5, that's, yeah. There's going to be a little bit of a struggle at 15. And 3/4, 15.5, 15.75, yeah. So when we come back, we can talk about that. Because all of that is seen through this nice thing called a market profile. And I'm just going to show you that. Some of you don't have it. So this is what I'm saying. This is a ninja market profile. Basically, you got to buy it. But as we were pushing up, we had a little problem getting through this node right here initially. That's where that came back. Now we pushed up above. Where are we having problems getting to? We're in this slightly low volume area. It's not very big, But then we get up here to a high volume node that might, that might push us back down and play around in here. But when we finally go up to here, now that's 5210. See how the shelf there? That little shelf? Yeah. Going right above that. And we haven't spent much time up there, as you can obviously see. So it's going to make it harder for them to get above. So yeah, we may get some resistance as we try to make it up to that second standard deviation mark. And right here you see, right in between these two lines, so a little bit of a current heat zone. So if we break into it, yeah, then we'll shoot up a little higher and then find the resistance right in here. Shoot up a little higher and then find the resistance right there. So we're going to try to get up to that second standard deviation mark. And if we do, it'll go boom and then come back down. It won't spend much time. It'll go up and it'll come back down. So that's the prognostication for later today. All right, we're going to put things on pause and we'll come back. All right, so we just ran up to that 5210 mark that we talked about. And you see how it reacted. Didn't like that. Not that we can't get above, but it pulled back as we expected. Now I'm watching the RSX on a different screen. And the RSX was actually a little bit higher at that last attempt. Well, what I'm trying to say was, let's just show you now that I understand how to use this thing. Okay. Are we focused? Yeah, there we go. So the RSX was just a little bit higher here. Just a little bit. So I'm thinking that we're going to continue to move higher. Well, I know we're going to move higher. It's not a question of whether I think it will. I know it will. Pattern. Okay, now we're pushing back through and up to 5211. That's where we've got this other little heat zone right over here. What screen am I on? Okay. All right. So I'm looking at this heat zone right here. So we went up to 1050, came back. Now Can we make it back up there? I'm pretty sure we can. So we'll come back when we do. I thought I would just take a second. This is a little bizarre. I went over to programtrading.com and just wanted to take a look at our friend Hank's fair value and buy sell levels. He's got fair value today at 64.25. Buy programs at 66 and sell at 62.25. Now, if this was a true fair assessment of what was going on today, well, I mean, his levels are his levels. Okay. But on the basis of that, then his sell levels are so high that practically every premium bar is a program sell and the market is rallying. Do you see a problem with that? Okay. Now we had program buying going on when the market was selling off and hitting its initial low for the morning. And just look at where we are. Okay. We've been rallying now. And, sorry, but this just does not reflect reality today. Because normally what I've seen, if fair value is reasonably accurate, when the market is, when the premium is below fair value and stays there, the market is generally selling off. Conversely, and that's, let me rephrase that. If the highs if the highs of the premium are predominantly under fair value, we're selling off. If the lows are predominantly above fair value, we're rallying. Today, we're rallying, and it's just the opposite. So I don't know what the problem is here. But for that reason, today, that's not a real good barometer. All righty, we're moving back up to the 52.10 level, and we'll come back to that in just a moment, when hopefully we push right through and go up to that 52.11 mark. Yeah. So I'm watching the premium. Premium is advancing. And let's take a look at the clock. So right now there's a between 9:16, 9:17, oftentimes a little high pivot. Okay, 52.10. Premium is dropping though. Okay, premium's coming up again. Oh, not quite. Okay, now we see evidence that it's coming up. Let's watch it. Premium is in subgraph 1. All our indicators are on the premium. Now we might get a low pivot at 921. And as you can see, when the premium on the RSX is dropping below the zero line, pardon me, these are CCX, below the zero line, we see a corresponding drop in the ES. So to move this up, we got to start getting up above the zero line. And we're in a bit of a low volume node right now. We're just moving out of it. It should start to push up now. Okay, I think that might have been our 921 low, just a little bit before it. No, not quite. Not quite doing it. I was thinking right in here, I was looking at the CFB. And nah, she going the other way. All right, we've got to put pause on this. We'll come back and reevaluate what's happened. But right now, it's not looking good. We're maintaining the CCX below the zero line. That's just causing this to drop. But it's telling us what it's telling us the truth. So, but it doesn't change the target. So we'll come back in a few minutes and then we're going to have to wrap it up. So, my friends, you see what happened. You see what happened. So we did, in fact, we pushed through that level. Well, let's go. All right. Let me get the okay. So there was our second standard deviation mark, which we have now pushed through significantly as we expected. Helpful to know where the market's going to go. But that's all the time we have for this video, so we're going to end it here. You saw what happened, just as we expected it to. And so that's our video for today. Let's do one more thing. All righty. So we'll come back perhaps later to just evaluate what happened, but everything has gone according to plan and a bit earlier than we expected.